This show is brought to you by the Soul CBD oils, brought to you by our good friend Larry Ostrowski from Be Well Buzzed. He's got these amazing CBD oils, which I highly recommend you checking out. Now, CBD is completely 100% legal. What's illegal in some states, and this is all going to change, is the THC. So CBD is the non-psychoactive component of cannabidiol, and it's got 85 phytocannabinoids known to currently exist in a cannabis plant, and expect many more to come. CBD, it is the most powerful plant on the planet, bar none. You can listen to our show with Rick Simpson, episode 424, and learn more about CBD and the power of CBD. So check those out. Check the videos out in our store. Sanjay Gupta is on there, and it's got some really great content, and you can learn more about CBD oils in our store as well. We're also brought to you by Savvy Rest, which is an amazing company that we have finally been able to find a company we can stand behind. And they offer pillows, toppers, memory foam, natural rubber, latex wool, and they offer sofas and mattresses. They are the who's who of organic bedding. And if you go onto our store, you can find out more. You can watch the videos, and they are the cream of the crop of organic beds. And these are the only ones that I recommend to people that they get. So go onto our store and check out all of the research and all of the information about Savvy Rest. I think you're really, really going to like the products that they have on their website. And all of this is available in our store or at extremehealthradio.com/482. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on another show, Extreme Health Radio. Thank you so much for stopping by, for listening. And we're going to be talking with Phil Wilson today about the benefits of far infrared saunas. We're going to be tackling some of the questions that people have, namely the electromagnetic field radiation that is claimed that comes off the sauna, as well as near infrared versus far infrared. And also just all of the major benefits of sweating in general. I have not used our sauna in 2 days, and let me tell you, I really miss it. I really miss it. And that's one of the signs that you actually enjoy the product, or maybe it's a workout, or maybe it's a dietary program. If you don't do it for a couple days and you miss it, then you know that you really love what you're doing. And I absolutely love sitting in my sauna. I'm so excited to get into it today. Many of you guys order the sauna through us, and we appreciate that. And it's just one of the best. It's probably my most favorite health tool or gadget, whatever you want to call it, machine that we have. And I'm working with my mom. I'm trying to get her to get one too. These saunas are absolutely amazing. So we're going to be talking with Phil Wilson. He is the man behind Momentum 98, the owner and CEO, Momentum98.com, and we're going to bring him on in just a second. But we have added a few new videos on our sauna page. One is from Dr. Rhonda Patrick. One is from Dr. Brian Clement. And there's all kinds of really interesting information about the sauna and what doctors are saying about it, specifically far infrared. And we're going to be talking about that today with Phil. Let me mute the music here, turn his mic up. Mr. Phil Wilson, are you there?
I am here. Yes, I am.
Excellent to have you on today. Thanks for making time out of your day.
It's always a pleasure. I love being interviewed by you. You're one of the best.
Oh, thanks so much. There's a lot of good ones, so I appreciate that. Yeah, so I was doing some research recently on the far infrared versus the near infrared. And I feel like that's maybe something that we should tackle, because a lot of people start doing some research specifically on bigger ticket items, right? Like these saunas and, things that you have to spend a lot of money on. And they often ask me, what is the difference between near infrared and far infrared, and should I get a near infrared? And what are your thoughts about all that?
Well, they've done all the research on far infrared ray for years and years and years. Dr. Sherry Rogers talks all about far infrared ray energy in her research. And then all of a sudden, a few years ago, some people start talking about near infrared. And, this is sort of like, where'd that come from? Because, see, we vibrate at 9.4 microns, and water vibrates at 8 microns. So the far infrared ray energy is the exact energy that resonates with human energy. And if you get too far away from 9.4, you're not going to resonate. So near infrared, really does not resonate with far infrared energy. But my last name is Wilson, and here my Dr. Wilson is the one who's promoted near infrared the most. He's the one who pretty much introduced it. And although there is some benefit about near infrared, from the experiences I've had, from the research I've done, from the people I've talked to, and this includes, a lot of people who are way up there, the far infrared ray is the one that is the one that benefits, that resonates with us. And that resonating that we have inside, it's energy medicine. That's what does the magic. There's a lot of magic with the far infrared ray. And people wonder, all the complaints that Dr. Wilson has about the far infrared saunas are answered by the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna.
Okay. Yeah, he says here, I'm looking at one of his pages here, is one of his articles, and he says, he's talking about the different types of saunas, and he talks about traditional saunas, and then he talks about near infrared and far infrared. And what he says about far infrared is, he says far infrared saunas use metallic, ceramic, or black carbon elements for heating that mainly emit in the far infrared range. The Relax sauna does not. Oh, okay. Let's see.
So all his complaints about the wooden saunas, it's too bad he didn't see the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna before he did all this. He could have been one of our biggest dealers.
Oh, right. I know, right?
Yeah.
He says here the electric heating elements are spread around the sauna space. Unfortunately, all of these far infrared saunas give up stray electromagnetic fields that may be extremely harmful. Please avoid all far infrared saunas for this reason.
See, again, that's because all of the other far infrared saunas, and people are shocked to hear this. I mean, I'm a big believer in the far infrared wooden saunas if you can't get a Relax sauna. They do so much good. Dr. Sherry Rogers has documented thousands and tens of thousands of people have experienced the benefit of the wooden saunas. But, of course, it can't compare to the benefit of the Relax sauna. We'll get into more detail. But the other saunas only give 36% to 62% far infrared ray energy, and the other stray stuff is near infrared and medium infrared. Mm-hmm. And if you have pure far infrared ray, since the far infrared ray has been proven to be an EMF protector, the far infrared ray energy, the pure far infrared ray energy, antidotes sunburn. It antidotes nuclear radiation. It antidotes radiation that they give you in cancer therapy, and it antidotes sunburn, like I said, and it antidotes EMF. The actually far infrared ray in general does do that, but the Relax sauna, because it's 98% pure, is more effective in doing that. And I tell people the Relax sauna acts as an EMF protector. And I had a good picture of that the other day. Because we had a young man in Philadelphia, he's a musician, and he was in the Relax sauna for 15 minutes, and he said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing in the world." And he himself is very, very electromagnetic sensitive. His mom had a cheaper infrared sauna, and he wouldn't even go in it. But his friend at a show in Philadelphia went in the Relax sauna, and when he went and had great results, so he said, "Okay, I'll do it." And afterwards, a couple hours later, I did an 8-minute interview with him, and he said, I can feel the EMF around the sauna, but it can't get in me. And I finally had a visual on that. Suppose you're in a vehicle, like a minivan, mm-hmm. and there's a bear outside your minivan, but it can't get in. See, and so you can see the bear out there, like he can feel the far infrared energy, but it can't affect him negatively at all because the far infrared energy in the Relax sauna acts as an EMF protector, but way, way, way more than that, it undoes the damage that you may have experienced from previous exposure to EMF.
Interesting. Yeah, because the EMF issue, I think, is really interesting because a lot of people are concerned about that. But, anytime you're anywhere, if you're near a cell tower, if you're near any type of electronic equipment, even like Vitamix blenders are really high.
6 times more EMF than the Relax Sauna.
How much?
6 times more EMF out of a Vitamix blender that I have, and I have a green power juicer, same thing. 4 to 6 times more EMF than the Relax Sauna radiators, which is only at your feet. None of the vital organs of your body get even exposed at all to EMF at all.
Yeah, from what I understand, the electromagnetic fields that come off, I mean, really they come off of any electrical device. So anything that uses electricity is going to put off a field. But the question is, how close are you to that field, and how long are you exposed to that field? And then if you're doing something like an far infrared sauna, how much does the benefit of the the benefit of sitting in the sauna outweigh being exposed to EMF, right?
13 years ago, that was, I figured out, the benefit, even if there was, quote, so-called damage from EMF exposure in the Relax Sauna, the benefit of the far infrared energy and the Relax Sauna is 100-fold more than any kind of damage.
Yeah, I can say from experience, I think we got one from you maybe about 4 years ago now. I think we started our show in 2012. And I have to say that I've been using the sauna, if you had to average it out on a per week basis, it's probably upwards of 6 days a week. I rarely miss a day. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I haven't done it in the last 2 days and I miss it. But
I heard that.
I would, for me, wouldn't trade a minute sitting in those things at all for lack of exposure to any EMF. And like you said, it only comes up to about knee high, from what I understand.
Yeah, the EMF is nowhere below your knee. I mean, nowhere above your knee is there any EMF in the Relax Sauna because it doesn't have panels all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So what's the deal with the other ones? They have panels and it bounces off on the inside, the EMF?
Well, where there's panels, the panels generate EMF because the panels are electrical units.
Oh, so in traditional saunas like the wood ones, there are panels sort of all over? Is that how it works?
in the far infrared wooden saunas, yes, they have panels all over the place. Now, the traditional wood saunas that don't generate any far infrared energy, those don't have EMF in there except by the maybe by the heater. But for the wooden far infrared saunas, which I feel are great machines, and it's surprising though, Justin, I have personally sold about 50 Relax saunas to people who have $4,000 wooden infrared saunas in their home, and they complain about them because they take 20, 30 minutes to preheat, and then after that 45 minutes to an hour to do a sweat. And they just are totally amazed by I quoted, there's a Dr. Klasky out of Connecticut. He says, instant on is what he likes the best. Mm-hmm. And then 20 minutes for a complete sweat in the Relax Sauna. Oh my gosh, you're finished with your sweat when the other person's still waiting to get into their sauna because it's not preheated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a definite turnoff for me if I had to wait forever. And plus, by the time you have to wait, like let's say you have to wait 20 or 30 minutes for it to turn on, you're wasting a lot of electricity and all of that too.
Well, there's some people out there who've really got their lives together. Their sauna turns on at 7:40 in the morning. The alarm wakes at 8 in the morning, and they're ready to go into their sauna. But that's 0.01% of the population. When I want to get in the Relax Sauna, I want to get in it.
I hear you. Me too. I'm the same way. There's something that was really cool I was just reading about the other day in terms of like Ayurvedic medicine and that whole system of healing in India for the last 5,000-6,000 years. They were talking about how in terms of sweat, because Ayurvedic medicine is really big into sweating and things and detoxification through sweat. And they were mentioning that it's really important for someone to not have their head inside the sauna. And that's what I love about yours is that, I can put a fan and blow it on my head and it makes it so much more comfortable for me. you know?
About 70% of the time I have my head out of the sauna, and every so often I just want to go in and put my head in, and just, it doesn't matter what they say. I like having my head in some of the times, but boy, it's really nice because I was talking to a lady yesterday. She says she won't get in the other saunas because she doesn't like having her head in because a lot of people are not comfortable. And so it's a great selling point on the value of the Relax sauna because there are probably thousands out there who have never got into one of those wooden saunas because they're not comfortable breathing or having their head in. And so it's a wonderful benefit that you can afford that with the Relax sauna.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. So with the near infrared, what are the benefits of that, and what's the difference between the light being emitted from a near infrared versus, because all I know is that when I sit in your sauna, I start sweating within probably 5 minutes, and I've got a deep sweat at 15 minutes or 10 minutes. I just love it, and I wouldn't switch it for any sauna. And I'm not just saying that because we sell them. If we didn't even sell them, they're just the best. I love it.
I've been using them for 13 years, Justin, and they're, oh my gosh, I had an hour sweat this morning. I did 30 minutes, got out, drank some water, got in, and did another 30 minutes. And boy, does it make you feel good and rejuvenated. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
It's pretty nice. But to answer your question about the near infrared, and give me the question one more time.
Well, I'm just curious about like the near infrared in terms of like the wavelengths or whatever it is. Like, do people say that they penetrate deeper, or what's the difference between near and far?
Well, I've watched a lot of videos on near infrared on YouTube, because that's part of my job, to be educated, to answer questions, and, when people give me, question EMF, question near infrared, it's really nice to be able to be well read on it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the videos, far infrared is known for helping microcirculation, for helping increase core temperature, for mobilizing the lymphatic system, and many, many other benefits that derive from that. So here I am watching a man on video saying all the benefits of far infrared ray, but he says near infrared does this and far infrared does not. I said, oh my God, what is going on in this world?
How bizarre.
It's like, well, it's nice because I'm really getting into a belief.
Right.
And people, and like, there's a lot in the news media now about false stories. And so here's an example of a false story, and with, again, I go from experience a lot. I don't trust science anymore because of the CDC, being known to what liars figure and figures lie. All this stuff about the vaccines, that they've manipulated the data to make it look like they're safe and stuff like that. So, I like to go by my own experiences. That's and believe me, that to me is number one. Then I look at the data. It's nice to have a balance between both, but sometimes now, like information that's on the website is not really accurate, and it's sad, but that's okay. It gets us to not believe anyone but our own inner experiences, which in reality is how we learn to know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience in the Relax sauna, no one's going to convince you that it's not healthy for you.
There's
the EMF.
There's a great quote that said, what is the quote? It's, let me see if I can remember it here. We can only know our own experience, and everything else is programming.
You got it. You got it.
Isn't that interesting when you think about watching politics, or you think about watching the news or hearing this or that, but when you have your own experience of something, Yeah, there's no one who can tell me that the Relax sauna isn't healthy for me, because, boy, it gets rid of brain fog better than anything. If I eat the wrong foods, whatever that means, if I eat foods that cause me to have my mental clarity dissipate, I get into the sauna, and boy, I have the lie down sauna too, and a lot of times you go to read a book and you can't get into it. There has never been a time in me lying on my tummy in the lie down sauna, and I pick a book that I want to read.
I can always get into it, always, because it clears something. And it's amazing, totally amazing.
Yeah, it's and one of the things I want to point out to people that are listening is that you see a lot of discussion in articles, like we're just talking with about Dr. Wilson, talking about the near infrared versus far infrared, and I'm reading a separate website here that says this. It says, and I want to kind of just break down the language after I read this, but it says far infrared saunas boast the benefits of the infrared light and induce sweating, but they also expose you to a high level of EMF. Now, I think it's important for people to break language down and to really get away from generalized platitudes, because that sentence that is on this website, far infrared saunas boast the benefits of the infrared light and induce sweating, but they also expose you to a high level of EMF. That sentence is equivalent to saying food is very unhealthy.
You got it. Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, okay, you're saying you need to talk, if you're really going to say something about far infrared or even near infrared or any sort of subject in general, you really have to break it down and not just use a term that encompasses probably hundreds of different products.
That's very true, because, a high level of EMF, that's not true at all in the relaxed sauna. And there's a lot of wooden saunas out there that have gone to a long length of time and effort to minimize the EMF in their saunas. So that's just a blanket untrue statement, and so you just reel up your hands and you continue to speak your truth, and the people can hear you, great, and if they can't hear you, there's nothing I can do. I can't save people from themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at a sentence like that and it's seemingly innocuous. And the bummer about this, I know this website, and this website's a big website in the alternative field, and it's almost taking on the languaging patterns of something that you would see on the news, because they say far infrared saunas boast the benefits, blah, 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 but they also expose you to a high level of EMF. So it's like... They don't. That's not true. I know, but not only that, though, it's so crazy, because you look at this last part of this sentence, but they also expose you to a high level. Okay, so like, what is the high level? And you have to say, okay, is that high level in all far infrared saunas, or is that high level exposed? Is it right on your feet, or how far? I mean, there's so much that goes into like just a simple generalized sentence like that, isn't there?
I know 3 people who have bought relaxed saunas from me who have had near infrared, have bought the near infrared saunas. And the first person I met in New York City, and they said, "Oh my gosh, there's a world of difference between the relaxed sauna and the near infrared sauna that's being highly publicized." And I was really disappointed that they didn't buy it. But they called in a month later and they bought the relaxed sauna from us and are extremely pleased with it. And so when people say, well, people are experiencing benefits from near infrared, yeah, if you've been driving a bicycle all your life and someone gave you a car going 35 miles an hour, you'd be excited. But once you find a car that goes 80 miles an hour, you just don't drive that car that only goes 35 miles per hour because it's so limited. So I'm not saying that the near infrared saunas aren't nice, but boy, it's nothing compared to the relaxed sauna. And I would say that 95% of the people who would try one of those near-infrared saunas and the relaxed sauna, that 95% would vote hands up for the relaxed sauna. And plus, they don't have to go through all the conniptions of rotating their body and all the whatever of all the shenanigans they have to do to do what the protocol is for the near-infrared saunas.
Yeah, I mean, if the EMF were as bad as they said it was, I wouldn't use it, and neither would you, I mean... Why
are all these people getting healed from cancer? Why are all these people who had Lyme disease and could only get up to about 75% better and then use the relaxed sauna, and now they're functionable like they were before, like 95% at least better? Why are all these people with fibromyalgia, with arthritis, with neuropathy, with Raynaud's syndrome, and all these other ailments, and why are all these athletes so, I mean, this is way better than a PED. Why are these athletes raving about the relaxed sauna as their favorite sauna?
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Yeah, it's just really bizarre. I don't know. I mean, personally, I'm absolutely in love with the far infrared sauna, and I just think it's my favorite health tool that we have. And, I've said that quite often. We have a lot of really cool tools,
Yes, and like, I've been selling massage tools since 1980 in my health food store, and our slogan is taking advantage of the moment, propelling yourself into greatness, momentum, taking advantage of the moment, propelling yourself into greatness. And the Relax Sauna is the pinnacle of all the products we sell that help you get into the present moment. And that's when all the magic in life can happen. And you know that. Mm-hmm. Magic happens when you go into the Relax Sauna.
It does. It really does. And it's almost comforting on like a psychological level. I equate it to, at least psychologically for me, doing how like if you eat really well one day, you just, at the end of the day, you feel really good about yourself because you took good care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the same way. There's only two things that I really feel that way with, and that is doing a coffee enema and doing a sauna. And I just feel like it's one of those psychological feelings where I just did one of the best things I could ever do for my health.
I feel so refreshed, so clean, so invigorated, so balanced, so grounded, and so relaxed after I do spa day for Phil. I don't do 2 sessions. I do 20 minutes, get out, take a shower, drink water, get in, do another 20, get out, drink some water, and rest, and then go in for another 20, and then I meditate or fall asleep, and when I come back, I feel like I've been at the spa for 9 hours. It feels that good.
Kate and I always joke about it when we use the sauna. It's always spa day for Kate or spa day for Justin.
That's right. Hey, I was in New York City about a month ago, and I had 2 people who specialize in healing energy, okay? Mm-hmm. And one of the ladies at the end of the show got in, and she said, she was, troubled by all these things, and trying to find a solution. And being in the Relax Sauna for 5 minutes, it all came together. It was just so clear being in the Relax Sauna. And the other lady who got in, who happens to be, at a booth helping with healing energies, and she's sort of like a healer, she got in the Relax Sauna and just was, oh my gosh, these people who were tuned in, and then there's all the doctors, like Dr. Roger Bilica, who owns he used to be the medical director for NASA for 10 years. John Glenn, he was a personal physician of, and they have been promoting this to their patients for about 3-4 years. I met him at the Best Answer for Cancer show. Oh, wow. He got in the Relax Sauna and did a sweat with his clothes on, with his sweats on for 25 minutes before the conference started, and instantly said, "We're switching to this sauna. This is far better than the other saunas we've been selling."
Wow, that's crazy. That Best Answer for Cancer is quite a event, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and also a lot of the speakers at these doctor conferences, use the Relax Sauna, and they use them in their clinics, and so, we have, really, we've met a lot of people at these expos, including you and Kate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we, there are hundreds of well-known authors, raving about the Relax Sauna. There's a book out, I think, Free of Cancer, Are You Sure? And when before she got rid of her cancer, she used the Relax Center. I think Bill Henderson used the Relax Henderson. There's so many people who have benefited from using the Relax Sauna, and then to say near-infrared is better, or the near-infrared is good and Relax Sauna is bad, no. You can say near-infrared is good if you want to, because it is. But nothing like the Relax Sauna, and his complaints about the other far infrared saunas, some of them are valid, but they don't refer to the Relax Sauna. That's what people need to know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you seen the 2 videos that we posted on our sauna page of Dr. Rhonda Patrick? Are you familiar with her?
Yes, I have. I saw them about a year before you posted them, and I noticed you posted them. She's good. She really is good.
She's a smart cookie, isn't she?
Yes.
She says here, check this out for people that are listening. She says, death from cardiovascular disease was 50% less likely by the 20-year follow-up in men that use the sauna 4 to 5 times per week compared to those only using it once a week. And incredibly, those using the sauna 4 to 7 times per week also had, this is crazy, a 40% reduction in mortality from all causes. That's nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, we call it, or I call it, a step-down version of divine love in a box.
Yeah.
And that's a derivative of what they say in Taiwan. They say it's like being in the presence of a Qigong master.
Yeah, it's a really interesting feeling when you get in there. You really feel like you're kind of taking it feels like a spa day, like you said. It really does. It's like relaxing, and you just really feel like you get time away from everybody else, and you're investing in your own self-care. It's just really unique.
Hey, publicly we really haven't, announced it yet, but this can be one of the first times. When they created the Relax Sauna, they were asked by a company in Japan, can you create an energy like the hot springs in southern Japan, where warriors in ancient days would go after battle to heal?
Mm-hmm.
And the Relax Sauna was created with the idea of getting that energy, and which happens to be far infrared ray energy, but also it's the chi energy that the Orientals talk about. It's like the prana of the Ayurvedic people, but the chi energy, there's actually, that was the intent. And when we first came out, we talked about that in our literature from 13 years ago, mm-hmm. and the public wasn't quite ready for it, and I didn't quite realize how incredible the Relax Sauna is. But, and I don't know if I can prove this, but there's something very, very special about the Relax Sauna energy, different than any other wooden far infrared sauna, because there's more. And I found out recently, I don't know if in high school, if you remember about the invention of the sewing machine, the discovery of the needle in a sewing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how the guy made his discovery?
No, I don't.
Well, it was in a dream where he was being chased by natives in Africa or wherever, mm-hmm. and there was a spear being thrown at him, and all of a sudden he looked really closely at the tip of the spear, and there was a hole in it. And that's how he got his idea to create the sewing machine with a hole inside the needle.
Huh.
That was a breakthrough in technology. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Relax Sauna energy, as compared to other far infrared saunas, is a breakthrough in technology that they have a patent for it. They use a semiconductor chip. No other sauna out there, as far as I know, use semiconductor chip technology. And what they're able to do, they're able to bypass Planck's law. Now, Planck's law says as you increase the wattage, you lose your accuracy. That's essentially what it says. And we're able to not lose the accuracy. We're able to sort of like squeeze the bell curve where all of the energy coming out of the sauna, 95, and I say it's probably closer to 98% of that energy coming out of the Relax Sauna is far infrared ray energy. And maybe the other saunas at 68 degrees or at, low wattage can say that, but low wattage, 0 times 1,000 is still 0. Mm-hmm. But as they increase their wattage, they cannot maintain pure far infrared ray. And I think most of the portable saunas are usually about 36% far infrared ray, and most of the wooden saunas are between 40 and 50, and some of the better ones are maybe 61 or 62% far infrared ray energy. And very few people know that to tell the quality, it's wood has nothing to do. The wood has nothing to do with the far infrared energy. That's only the pretty box. It's the fact that you from different woods will give different toxins maybe. But if you want to find a good far infrared sauna, you look at the emitters and you study the energy coming out of the emitters. And when you look at the Relax Sauna emitters, 1,500 watts, 750 watts each on the double radiator. Mm-hmm. There is nothing in the world that can compare to that energy.
So how much far infrared is coming off of the semiconductors?
Well, the semiconductor chip, there's 20 semiconductor chips per radiator. There's 40 semiconductor chips. So basically you would divide. It's not totally exactly like that, but it's about about 40 watts of energy is pretty much coming out of each of them.
Okay.
You know, in our little lamp that has 4 of them, it's 200 watts.
And how much far infrared of that is far infrared? Because you said I think some of the better wooden ones are 61 or 62% far infrared. What is the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna?
I say between 95 and 99%. I'm pretty clear it's about 98% from my viewpoint. That's what I feel. 98% of that energy.
So what happens is that the far infrared penetrates into the body, into the organs, right? And then, tell me if I'm wrong, what happens is that the fat cells begin to vibrate and oscillate back and forth, and apparently toxins and chemicals and things like that get stored in the fat cells, and because of the vibration of the fat cells, it's able to release those toxins into the blood, into the sweat, and then when you wipe the sweat off, you're essentially removing a lot of the toxins. Is that correct?
And exactly, and the stronger the energy is of the penetrating, you call it, and I call it the resonating, because it's really a resonance. The stronger the resonance, the more effect and the more impact it's going to have to get the toxins out of your body.
Okay.
So the relaxed sauna resonating is much stronger. See, if you're in a wooden sauna that's 1,000 watts, and they got, 20 panels, you're talking about 20, 50-watt panels. And I've seen videos on YouTube where this one lady goes into all kind of conniptions to get close to one of the panels. But that's what people say when they get in the relaxed sauna. There's an even distribution of the healing light everywhere in the relaxed sauna. And you can feel it because the whole purpose of the tent is to be a mirror for the light. Because there's 3 principles of far infrared light that they don't teach you in 8th grade. Far infrared light is a light, so it goes very fast, 186,000 miles a second. Far infrared, even though it's a light and invisible, it is still reflected by a mirror, and far infrared light goes through your clothes. Because, like it goes through the sand and resonates with the water and turtle eggs and activates the turtle embryo to grow into a turtle.
Oh.
And when you're outside on a cold day, you close your eyes, and there's a hot sun, you can feel it going through your clothes. And even when you're on the beach, or in a bathing suit, you can still feel it going through the bathing suit to your skin, but the ultraviolet cannot go through.
I see.
The near infrared cannot go through. According to the definition, it's only what resonates with human energy between 4 and 14 that can resonate with us. I was taught a long time ago that near infrared gets the skin hot. Because it doesn't resonate.
That's interesting.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but it doesn't mean that the relaxed sauna isn't effective. It's really effective,
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. I was reading an article the other day. This was in response to one of our guests that was on, and in the article it was saying that we're exposed to, I think it was like 700,000 different chemicals on a daily basis.
And many, many different kinds of energies as well. Radio waves go through us, TV waves go through us.
And he was saying that there's about over 70,000. I think this might have been in the show that we did with a guy named Craig Carroll, who was talking about benzene, and benzene being the known carcinogen that's in all plastics and things like that. But he was talking about 70,000 known chemicals that are in commercial use, but then on a daily basis, it's upwards of 700,000. Now, I don't know where they get that number or who they counted or what, but even if it's 15 or 20 chemicals on a daily basis, even if it's 100 or 200, my God!
And how do you get those? How do you get those out of the body?
Yeah, right.
You know what Sherry Rogers says in her book "Detoxify or Die"?
Yeah, what does she say? We're trying to get her on the show, but she's really into this stuff.
The far infrared ray energy is the only way she knows in the year 2000, 2001 that gets plastics out of the body. Far infrared ray. She didn't say near infrared. She said far infrared saunas are the only way she knows to get plastics out of the way, and the far infrared saunas are the best way she knows to get heavy metals out.
So in the article that I was just reading by Dr. Wilson, he was saying that you don't want to do any more than 20 minutes per day because it changes physiologically the body chemistry. But I do it for 30 minutes a day, and I'm doing far infrared versus what he's talking about, near infrared, but I do it for 30 minutes a day, sometimes 40 if I can really push through, but I feel like that's a good amount of time for me.
You know what's nice? You have the choice to believe him or not believe him.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
right.
if you believe him, you become the effect. See, when you listen, I won't say that he's evil, but when you listen to evil, you become one with evil. When you listen to a false belief, you become one with that belief, and you'll be affected by it. But man, go by your experiences.
Uh-huh.
I had a lady in New Hampshire. It was one of the low points in my life. She bought a Relax sauna from us at a naturopathic doctor show, and she came back 3-4 times and loved it. And then she read something, about EMF.
Oh,
and
right.
she got her Gauss meter and she tested the EMF, and she said, "Oh, I can't use it," and she sent it back. I said, "Oh my God, she's not listening to her own body telling her how wonderful it was." She raved and raved about what it did for her, and then she goes and disbelieves her own experience. She denies her own experiences because someone else said something and she didn't test it out.
Isn't that crazy? That's kind of like what we were just talking about. You can only know your own experience, and everything else is programming.
You got it. Got it. Yeah.
I mean, I tested ours with the Tri-Field, and it was exactly as you said. It was the EMFs came up to about the bottom of the chair, and then they dissipated. I mean, quite substantially. And I just find the whole EMF thing a little bit strange with people because, these are the same people who are on their cell phones for a large majority of the day, right? And they're...
The Relax sauna couldn't even hope to do as much damage as a cell phone does.
Isn't
and
that
I still
crazy?
use my cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, we use a Vitamix, and that's putting all kinds of stuff and any kind of electrical appliance that you use on your stove or in your kitchen. And I just find it to be very strange because I could understand that, like, if you were very concerned about the EMF coming from that, and if your whole house was almost like a Faraday cage or something, and you had zero exposure at all ever, and you were super electrically sensitive, I could understand, not being someone who would want to. But even still, it dissipates radically from about your knee up. But even in that case, I would say to that person, okay, I understand. But the same person who's concerned about it is someone who's, doing all these things every day that are exposing themselves. Have you ever used a Tri-Field meter in a car?
No, I haven't. I never thought of doing that.
Oh my goodness. We had a 4Runner. For a while, we had a Toyota 4Runner, and we just bought a Tri-Field. And when you're in the car, when it's not turned on, it's just everything's zero. And then as soon as you turn it on, the whole thing just spikes. On every Tri-Field, it measures 3 different outputs on the Tri-Field. And then it's just unbelievable. And that's a gas car. I don't even know about the electrical cars these days.
Hey, you know what's way worse than EMF?
What's that?
The fear of EMF.
I know, right?
It's for real. It's like, we're, and do you know what, you sell EMF protectors, don't you?
Yeah, we sell great ones, yeah.
Well, yeah. So if you're concerned about the EMF in a Relax sauna, you buy yourself an EMF protector, even though the far infrared energy coming out of the Relax sauna is an EMF protector. Mm-hmm. But if you're still not sure, get another one for $50, $60, $70 max.
Yeah, and you know what sometimes people do? That's a great idea. Yeah. And so I've heard of people doing this too, where we're connected up with that website called earthing.com, and they sell those pads that you can sit.
Sinatra bought 2 Relax saunas from me about 6 years ago.
Really, Stephen?
Yeah. Yeah, he loved it. He got in the sauna. He his daughter had the earthing booth next to us. This was at a doctor conference on clinical nutrition, and so he got in the sauna. He was wearing his shorts because he was just there. He took his shirt off. He got in. He sweated for 15 minutes, and we didn't have any towels, but we had all these washcloths, so we had to dry them off. And he asked me. He said, "Phil, how much are 2 saunas?" And so I told him, and he said, "All right, send one to my daughter and send one to me."
That's cool. Yeah, he's Stephen Sinatra is the probably, I would say, the foremost natural cardiologist in the nation. He
is great. I like him so much. He's wise and he's a good man.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this and you want to find a natural cardiologist or find someone who's more natural leaning, look up Steven Sinatra. He's an amazing guy. We're working on getting him on the show. He just wrote a book, so we're trying to get him on. But
I ran into this guy we met at the Colonic show, had a book, and it was co-written by Steven Sinatra. The guy had a near-death experience. Tony Roma. And boy, I had a nice time talking with Tony. He's a good guy. I like him.
Wow, that's so great. What was I saying a second ago about the about the grounding? Sometimes I've heard people putting the grounding mat, like touching it or sitting on it on the chair and plugging it in. And you can bring it through the zipper of the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna, and they can ground themselves while they're getting a sauna as well.
There are many things that you can do if a person is concerned. You can do 2 or 3 things, and I say more power to you. Whatever we all have inner guidance, and boy, listening to inner guidance is the best thing in the world. It's way better than sliced bread.
You know what? We get this all the time, Phil, and I know you get this too. It's way better than sliced bread. That's good. But people will write in, and we'll have a guy on talking about, say, the benefits of the ketogenic diet, and then we'll have someone on talking about. We had Dr. Doug Graham talking about. I think he eats like mainly fruit or something, and people will write in saying, oh my gosh, Dr. Graham, blah, 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 or this guy, Dr. D'Agostino, talking about the ketogenic diet. And they're just, how could you have these 2 people on and all this stuff? But what I try to tell people is, like, everyone that we have on our show, including me, is just someone offering options and information. And people should take what you say, and people should take what I say and Dr. Lawrence, and just see how it resonates with them, and really trust their own gut about all of this stuff, don't you think?
And you use the secret word, resonates, because that's what the Relax Sauna energy does. It resonates with the organic cells of your body. And by the way, it doesn't resonate with a pacemaker. It doesn't resonate with a titanium rod. It only resonates with the organic cells and the water cells in your body. And so you can have a pacemaker or a titanium rod or all this other stuff in your body, and it does not affect it, because people ask all the time.
Yeah. I think it's really important for people to stop looking for, I guess, gurus or authority figures and all of these types of things, and just try a supplement or try a food, and really listen to their own bodies, and try a near infrared, try a far infrared, and see what you like, and really just go off of, I think, your own intuition. That's really, because
we have about 20 to 30 videos on YouTube with people comparing the Relax Sauna to wooden saunas that they've been in, and oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Like I said, I have sold 50 Relax Saunas to people with wooden saunas in their home, $4,000 wooden saunas. They try the Relax Sauna, and then they understand.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the videos on YouTube, from professional athletes to people who write books on autism, comparing the Relax Sauna to wooden saunas, they say it's hands down, this is the best sauna I've ever been into. It's the most effective. I feel better. And remember, in the Relax Sauna I was talking about earlier, there's something in there that we can't express in scientific language. How can you talk about chi energy? But there's something special that people can feel, because how many people do you know when they go into a wooden sauna say, I feel like I'm in a womb, I feel like I'm in a cocoon, I feel like I'm wrapped around a blanket, I feel like I'm loved by God, I'm loved by my grandma, I'm hugged by my grandma. People say the most amazing things when they get in the Relax Sauna for 5 or 10 minutes. It just blows me away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel that myself. It just feels, it just feels amazing. I can't really describe it. It's just, after a couple minutes and you're sitting in there and you can just close your eyes, you can read a book. It's really cool because it has these little zippers, and you can read a book and pop your hands out. And you can control the temperatures too, because there's 2 controllers, one for each of the heaters at the bottom of the floor. So
and better than that, Justin. I talk about our sophisticated temperature control on the Relax Sauna, because other, wooden saunas, they have a timer. You get the same exact temperature. And I say, all you got to do is you pull the zipper 1 inch or 2 inches or 3 inches, and instantly all the hotness goes away, and you're just there with the far infrared energy. So I call it a sophisticated temperature control. And some people laugh.
Yeah.
The ones who understand what I'm talking about laugh, because it's, you don't need all these bells and whistles, and people are talking about their wood, and sometimes they got extras in there, and those are nice, and I have nothing bad at all to say about the wooden saunas, but boy, if you want convenience, the fact that it takes 4 minutes to set up, 1 minute to tear down, you can move it anywhere, you get an even distribution of healing light, and you can travel with it, you can put it in a suitcase, and the chair comes with it. Mm-hmm. This is why, you and I are doing so well getting the relax saunas in people's homes, because it works. And that's what a guy in Colorado, he got a $650 portable sauna by another company. And their literature was amazing, Justin. Their literature was amazing online. Mm-hmm. And, I was afraid, oh, my gosh, it's $650, and it looks as good as the Relax sauna. But when you got it, they still had that plastic, corrugated plastic in it, which shouldn't really be in a portable sauna, but I don't really think they have much of a choice. Mm-hmm. But the guy said the Relax sauna works, the other one did not work. He didn't sweat. He didn't care. No EMF or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's got no EMF. It doesn't work. It doesn't work if you can't sweat. Yeah. And he was in that thing for an hour, and in the Relax sauna with 8-10 minutes, and he wrote me a 2-page, 8.5 by 11 testimony. Wow. Hands down, Relax sauna wins. Thumbs up. This, Phil Wilson, the Relax sauna are like the best of the best.
Yeah, it is an incredible machine. Dr. Patrick said, again, if people are interested in Dr. Patrick, she's really cool. Her 2 videos are available on our sauna page, which you can get to on the right-hand side of our website. But she says, she talks about the neuroendocrine effects of heat stress, and she says that staying in the sauna until exhaustion has been shown to increase norepinephrine by up to 3-fold and prolactin by up to 10-fold. And norepinephrine is critical for focus and attention, and prolactin is involved in the process of myelination. And she says that heat acclimation actually increases the capacity to store norepinephrine for later release, and the sauna increases heat shock proteins in the body, which is... Yes. In turn, increases the immune system, what she says, up to 40%, which is crazy.
Yes, absolutely. It's totally amazing, the benefits people derive. I mean, I think I mentioned that we had a lot of people who were stuck at a plateau who had Lyme disease. They couldn't get above 75% better, and the Relax sauna took them to 95%. I got 3 documented cases on video to that effect. Yeah, it's exciting.
You know what's I love about it too is the fact that you can tear it down so easily. My mom, I'm trying to get her to get one, and she was worried that, she wouldn't be able to knock it down or move it or whatever, and she hadn't seen it yet. And when I showed it to her the other day, she looked at it and said, "Oh my gosh, so you can just tear this thing down and put it in the closet if company comes over?" And I said, "Yeah, it's perfect."
Well, better yet, when company comes over, turn them on to it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite an incredible thing, because, with the wooden ones, we just moved recently, probably about 3 months ago, and if we had a huge big wooden one, I couldn't imagine how difficult that move would have been.
Right, exactly. Hey, in talking what you're talking about, Rhonda, Patrick, people who don't methylate, they are the ones who definitely will improve a lot with the Relax sauna.
Oh, really?
Because some people are so-called non-methylators.
Yeah, Kate, my wife Kate is like that.
Yeah, and because a lot of the speakers at the conference we go to talk about the importance of those who don't methylate, and the Relax sauna is perfect for them. Perfect. It gets them to where they need to be.
We were talking with a guy recently. You may be familiar with him, Dr. Jack Cruz. He is a fascinating guy. He is a neurosurgeon. And he does a lot of work with blue light and all of this effects of EMF, and he's just a fascinating guy. Probably one of the more fascinating people we've ever spoken to. We've had him on twice now, and he was talking about cancer and its relationship to genetics, and he was saying that people are looking in all the wrong places when it comes to cancer. He was saying cancer is not a genetic issue, even though people want you to think it is. He said it's a mitochondrial issue. And this is just a guess to me, because the mitochondrial is like the energy powerhouse store, the batteries of the cell that cause the genetics or the genes to express themselves in whatever ways that the outside environment is impressing upon them. And so I suspect, this is just a guess, maybe next time I have him on I can ask him, but I suspect that the far infrared light is doing something to the mitochondria.
You know what it's doing? It's getting the mitochondria to create ATP. That's all throughout the literature of far infrared ray. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And like when you get in the relax sauna, first what happens, you get really relaxed. And once you get to that balanced state, then your mitochondria are in a comfort zone, and they start creating energy. And this energy is pure. It's not hyper energy that most people carry around. And the relax sauna helps you get rid of all that hyper energy. That's why people sleep so much better, and they don't have restless leg syndrome. I mean, it's like, oh, Justin, if you could hear all the comments I've heard of 100,000 people getting out of the relax sauna, and what they say when they come back the next day, I tell people you would buy a relax sauna in a heartbeat. You know, I am blessed to be able to watch at least 20,000 minor or major miracles happen in 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Have you done any of the back and forth from the cold to the heat?
You know, a long time ago, a couple friends of mine, like 20, 30 years ago, introduced me to that, and I did it for a week. And I'm sorry, I don't like cold.
But you live in Ohio. It's freezing there, isn't it?
I'm out of town half the year.
Okay.
But see, here's where you talk about beliefs. If I really believed, okay, if I read enough evidence and I really believed that the cold and hot would set me straight, on another level, I would do it. But part of me doesn't believe that, and therefore I won't do it. And it's really interesting when you look at what you believe, you become a slave to your beliefs. It's so fascinating because the belief is the programming. And so, even if you want to do something but you don't believe you want to, you're not going to be able to. And you first have to, you just got to really approach that belief and just embrace it and get to know it and see whether it's right for you or not. And if the belief's right for you, great. And if it's not, say, thanks, you've served me well, I don't need you anymore. A belief is like a rental car.
Yeah, right.
It gets you someplace, and once it gets you there, a lot of times it's not needed anymore, but you keep it because you're attached to it, and you don't want to tell it goodbye. You don't need it because you feel guilty and all this junk that we do to ourselves. How silly we are. Yeah,
and then we think that we are that belief, which is even crazier.
Yes, that's even worse.
I haven't tried the cold to the hot. I suspect that there would be some benefit there.
There's definitely going to be benefit, but again, there's benefit in a lot of things. And if people want to try it, I say, yeah, it sounds great. I think it's because you want to be able to. It's like a runner training for a race. If you run 10 miles and then when you run a 6-mile race, piece of cake. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very similar to that. I was talking with a doctor recently. I may have mentioned this on our last show. We do so many shows, I can't remember on which show I say what. But
you sure do have fun with these shows, don't you?
Oh, I love it. So many interesting, fascinating people to talk to.
Oh yeah.
And this guy was talking about he's a medical doctor, and he was talking about doing some sweating, and he took high dose lipospheric glutathione, and then he combined that with like niacin, I think.
Yes.
And did drank a bunch of water, and then after he took, it's very important after you sweat to take some minerals or some green powder or green juice or reintroduce some minerals back into yourself after you do a sweat like this, because you're not producing any lactic acid, you're breaking down acids, and the sweating is incredibly detoxifying, so you want to reintroduce some of these things after you sweat. But what he said was after taking the glutathione and the niacin that he wiped himself down, and the sweat that came off of him was like brown.
I bet. That's right. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
L. Ron Hubbard introduced the niacin and sweats and was able to get a lot of people on hard drugs for 5 years, or people from the 9/11 at the 9/11, and it's like, and his protocol includes using a regular sauna for 5 hours. Well, we had a lady from Chicago who did niacin flush and the Relax sauna for only a half an hour to an hour a day with her niacin protocol, and she increased her niacin more and more. She had constipation problems all her life. She's about 55 or 60, and for the first time in her life, she does not have problems anymore.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, and so anyone who wants to do that L. Ron Hubbard protocol, and again, he died before Relax saunas existed. So and the people there, they're afraid to go and modernize what he did, because no one there seems to know and say, hey, doesn't it make sense to use the Relax sauna for an hour a day instead of the other sauna for 5 hours and get the same results? But that's my suggestion to people. You don't need to spend 5 hours a day in a regular sauna. You can just do an hour a day and experiment. And of course, when you experiment, I guess, I really believe in listening to inner guidance, but there's a balance. You do want to consult with other people sometimes. Like other doctors say, hey, I'm going to do this niacin thing. But yeah, the glutathione, when I go to all these medical doctor conferences, they're all talking about, not all, but many are talking about glutathione, and of course that's perfect with the Relax sauna.
Yeah, because it's allowing your body to pull all those fat-soluble toxins and poisons from your bloodstream and from the fat cells, and glutathione is one of the best ways to pull those toxins out, right?
Yeah, and Dr. Sherry Rogers, when she says that the Relax sauna is the best thing in the world, or not the Relax sauna, but FAR Infrared saunas are the best way to get rid of heavy metals, she says, yeah, but why not use it with a program, and then it can even be better.
Like a program, like a structured protocol?
Yeah, like that the medical doctors have about how to get heavy metals out of the body. See, I think that's what happened with Karen Russell. She tried 7 or 8 things to get rid of the heavy metals, and none of them worked. They worked a little bit, and then when she started using the Relax sauna, 20 minutes twice a day, oh my gosh, her in 1 month, her mercury and her lead were normal for the first time in her blood reports in 2.5 years.
Now, who was this lady? A friend of yours?
Karen Russell. We met her in 2007 at one of the medical doctor conference shows, and within a month, her heavy metals were normal. And after that, after another month, she noticed that she lost 65% of her cellulite. Her skin looked prettier than ever, and she lost about 50 pounds. She was using some other products too that helped her lose weight, but the beautiful skin, the losing the cellulite, and not having heavy metals in her blood, I attribute that, as does she, to the Relax sauna.
One of the things about it too is it's, from what I understand, really great for your lymphatic system. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, we had a lady in San Diego. It was a cancer conference, and she bought a Relax sauna from us, and her daughter bought a Relax sauna from us, and she came back and said, I bought a rebounder, which helps the lymphatic system, and the sauna, the Relax sauna, that helps the lymphatic system because it when you increase your core temperature, which the Relax sauna helps do because of all the pulsating water molecules, it's going to increase your core, it's going to mobilize your lymphatic system. But what she said is she listened to 2 of the doctors, and she used her rebounder, and she used the Relax sauna, and a year later she says, I am cancer-free.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. And the lady who wrote the book, Cancer-Free, Are You Sure? Jenny, I forget her last name, she used the Relax sauna in her cancer recovery.
Wow, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Some of the things I like to do, if I get enough time, I often forget to do this. I usually do my skin brushing before I go to bed, but sometimes if I have enough time, what I'll do is I'll do the rebounder, and then I'll do some skin brushing, and then I'll jump in the sauna, and that's a pretty good combo. Oh yeah, there's so many things we can do. Like I think for athletes to do the sauna for 5 or 10 minutes before you start working out, and then for recovery, like we've got people who they do marathons
oh my gosh, you go in the Relax sauna for 20, 30 minutes as a recovery mode from a marathon run, and you've got your whole day back.
Yeah. So what's cool about it is that you're able to cleanse the body out without producing any lactic acid.
Yes, and that's what she said in an interview that I did with her. She says, when she gets that lactic acid pain, she didn't even worry about it because she knows all she has to do is go in the Relax sauna for 5 or 10 minutes and it's all gone. All gone. So it's cool. There's no fear. There's no freaking out. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy about the sauna is, in the summertime when it's hot, I will, I love it so much. And there would be I would have, a valid excuse if I didn't want to use it in the summer because it's already so hot, but
yeah.
I just love doing it so much. And so instead of sitting in there for 30 minutes or, I try for 35 or 40 in the winter, but in the summer it's so hot that I usually do about 20 or so. But, just sitting in there for even 10 or 15 minutes is incredibly just relaxing, and it feels just as great.
I do. I like to recommend 5 to 10 minute spot sessions in the Relax sauna with your clothes on. And because that's what we do at shows, and people have the most remarkable effects. Their arthritis pain or their pain from fibromyalgia go from an 8 to a 2. That's normal.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's normal, and if it doesn't, I said, "Oh my gosh, I failed."
Yeah, it's one of those tools that you just, for me, it's like a regular in my daily life. It's a regular on my weekly protocol. The rebounding and the sauna is just something that I do every single day, and I do 30 minutes typically on the rebounder, and I probably around 30, 35, sometimes 40 minutes, or at least 20 in the sauna. So you figure about an hour a day with those two things. And I love doing it after I work out because I'm building up all this lactic acid. I've been doing my workouts in the backyard now, which has been great. Getting out in the sun and being grounded in fresh air. But, I'm just super sore after my workouts doing push-ups and all this crazy stuff. And I'm just really sore, but I'll do my sauna afterwards and it just feels like, this feels like heaven.
So what's your level of pain before you go into the Relax sauna after your workout?
Oh, when I get in?
Yeah, uh-huh.
In terms of stiffness and soreness, it's probably like an 8, I'd say.
And when you come out?
Oh, gosh, it's probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just cuts it right in half. And then here's the cool thing, though, for me, is that I like to work out a lot, but sometimes you can't work out if you're, like if I do my chest workout, say, one day, and I want to do my chest workout again in a couple days, if I'm sore at all, they tell you you're not supposed to do your chest again because you still have lactic acid buildup and your muscles haven't rebuilt themselves from your previous workout. But when you do the sauna, it really helps to recover. So you're flushing all that lactic acid out, so you're able to work out again much sooner than 2 or 3 days.
Yes. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so great. So then, and then if you're working out more, you're healthier for that too, It's amazing.
It's no matter whether you're an athlete or someone to raw foods or someone who has aches and pains who comes home from work tired, it is so universal that I say that if someone came to the United States from Mars and they looked around and they saw houses with refrigerators, stoves, and washing machines and showers, I can imagine their main comment, their first comment is, "Where is your Relax sauna? How do you get the toxins out of the body?" You treat your clothes better than you do your body because the clothes does the inside of the fibers of the clothes. The water washes through and cleanses every fiber of the cloth in the washing machine with invisible water. Where's that machine, the Relax sauna, that will cleanse every cell of your body with this invisible light and will just cleanse the daily waste product, the heavy metals, and all the gunk in your cells that is not serving you, that acts as an impediment, mentally, physically, emotionally. Where is that energy that will get the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous systems, your body, talking to each other? That's what I think someone from Mars would say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a unique machine. One thing I will say, though, is I definitely cannot do it before bed because it's so relaxing that it just puts me to sleep. So I've had times where, it's 11:30 at night and I I try to do it every day, and it's like 11:30, and I tell myself, okay, I got to do the sauna. So I'll get in it. And I'll end up falling asleep sitting in there, so.
That's okay. I just started redoing it every night before I go to bed, and it's great. It's like, I meditate a lot, so I just meditate in the sauna, and sometimes I fall asleep, and when I do, I just wake up and go to bed. It's
funny because it feels like you're like falling asleep when you used to be in school where your head would nod, and, it's
yeah.
I should be listening to class, but I'm not, and I'm falling asleep.
Well, I've learned, like in my years, like I used to go to, and I have an honors degree in math at Indiana University, and I go into an honors math class with 10 people sitting in the class. I come in 15 minutes late, sit in the front row, and then proceed to fall asleep.
Oh my gosh! And they just hated you for that.
Well, the teacher, every day or every other day, they didn't take it personally after a while. It was a nice man, but I like to listen, and then I like to listen intently. And when I really listen intently, sometimes if I'm tired, I fall asleep.
I love it. One of the things I like to do in there is, I love watching documentaries and finding things on YouTube or Netflix and things. And so what I always do is I just turn my computer screen around. I have it right here in the office, in the studio where we're doing the show. And, I just turn my monitor around and I'll just watch a good documentary. And I'm learning something, I'm being inspired, and I'm learning something new, and I'm also sweating. It's I don't know, it just feels great.
Well, I found a way to use my sauna during the summertime.
Oh yeah?
I don't know why it took me so long. I put the air conditioning on.
Oh, there you go.
And then I'd get in the sauna because it was too hot otherwise.
Yeah.
Or you get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
But, wow, what a concept. It's like, I used to go in the Relax sauna for 20 minutes, and after 22 hot, that I'd have to wiggle my head and do a bit of 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, after 8 years, I learned, years, it's the light, not the heat. And so I pulled the zipper down 8 inches, and still sweating profusely. Because it's the light resonating with the cool, making you sweat. It has no heat jumpstarts you, but you don't need to be that hot. The heat, and all these people, people come to me, well, don't we have to be at 110? Don't we have to be 130, 40? Well, not really. You want to, it doesn't matter what temperature is. You want to get to the point where you start sweating, and then all the sweat starts being exuded. And as you know, the sweat from the Relax sauna is very oily compared to normal sweat. And then one day, about 2 years,
hey Phil,
I'm sweating out. Yeah.
Hey Phil, sorry, you are really cutting out, really, really bad. Can I call you right back because I want to hear this story?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Excellent.
I'll hang up.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. You were just cutting out quite a bit there, so I wanted to make sure I heard the story that you were telling me.
Well, basically, I was lying out in my yard a couple Augusts ago, and I was noticing the sweat on my arm. I said, God, that sweat sure is watery. And I had forgotten, because you wouldn't call the sweat from being in the Relax sauna oily, but when you compare it to normal sweat, there's stuff in there. It's not watery at all. Compare.
Mm-hmm.
You still there?
Yeah. Sorry, you're cutting out quite a bit now. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. We have pictures of the sweat from a regular sauna, not an infrared sauna, compared to the sweat Relax sauna, and it's totally amazing. It's like 80. I don't know. It's like 10 or 15% of the sweat. It isn't water. It's gunk.
Yeah, it's got to be those toxins, right?
It's like squeezing into squeezing that rag, and you keep on getting water out.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow the Relax sauna pulsates every cell of the body, where it just wrings out the toxins that you can't get out otherwise. It's the light. the light is very strong. The light is very cleansing, very therapeutic, and very thorough. And it can do things that like I remember when I was in Philadelphia at a show, and this lady made a comment, it goes where hands cannot go, because this pain in my shoulder, no massage therapist in the last 2 years has been able to do anything for it, and it's gone in 8 minutes in the Relax sauna. It goes where hands cannot go. The light is totally amazing.
Oh, that is interesting. That makes sense, because it's sort of like an internal exercise kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's like, there's laser technology, which is more exacting, but the Relax sauna, the energy does it to every cell in the body. Mm-hmm. Every cell is infused with this healing light and cleansed and purified. And it's like, when I was a little kid and I'd get sick, and after a couple days, you really feel cleansed and purified. Man, nothing makes me feel so cleansed and purified as being in the Relax sauna. You just feel, it's like, like when a young kid, a teenager, scrubs up and wears a suit for the first time, how cleansed and purified they look. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. So with every good thing, there's a bad thing. And you were mentioning before the show that the price of the sauna is actually going to be going up here starting, is it January 1st, 2018? Or 17?
Yeah, January 1st, 2017. The new Relax sauna price will be, I think, $1,395, but the internet special will be $1,195. Right now, it's the internet special is on your site and all the sites is $1,095.
Right, $1,095. So it's going up by $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's still worth it's worth way more. It's worth way more compared to $4,000 wooden saunas. It's worth way more.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I've used those wooden saunas a handful of times. I really don't like them because I mean, for one, I just don't like to have my head in those things. But I just like the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna for so many reasons. All the reasons we talked today. But yeah, it's well worth every penny. It's and people that listen to this show know that. We talk about the sauna almost on every show, and it's my favorite. We have so many little health tools, and you have a health store, so you have all these tools too, and more than we have, and it's by far my favorite.
You have good ones. You are good.
I try. Yeah, we have the Rife machine, we have the laser, we have all kinds of cool things, but I don't know, something about the sauna is just it's far and above anything we've ever used. All right, so thanks, Phil, for
aren't you doing some kind of special?
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be explaining more about the details on the special, on the recap of today's show. So
beautiful,
yeah. So thanks for being on, and I know you're a busy guy. You got a whole store to run, so thanks for your time today.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun talking to you all the time. Especially during the interviews. I mean, this has been. It's getting the information out that there's something how do you communicate? There's something very special about the Relax sauna energy. It's not just far infrared ray, it's more. It's like somehow we snuck the chi in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we snuck.
Yeah, it's like doing Qigong or something, right?
What is that?
It's like doing Qigong,
It's like being in the presence of a Qigong master.
Yeah.
And I have, there's at least 100, 200 comments that I've heard about there's something different about this sauna that I've never experienced. One lady said, I have never tingled in a wooden sauna before. I tingle in this sauna. I feel like dancing in the rain. And she's been using wooden saunas for 15 years.
Wow.
That's a lady from Alaska.
Yeah, we haven't had, in terms of customer satisfaction, we've never had anyone return anything.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, you would think. I mean, we've sold hundreds of them, and we have never had. All we've ever had is people writing back saying, "Oh my gosh, I love my sauna." We've never had anyone say, "I want to return this. How do I return it? I don't like it." We've never had any of that.
We had a lady in Columbus. She met us at a show in the middle of September. She woke up one night with restless leg syndrome, and when her husband got in September, he was a changed person. She said it was unbelievable. And so after she had this restless leg syndrome thing, she said, we're coming into Momentum. We're buying a sauna tomorrow. Anyway, I talked to him and I explained to him whatever, the difference between this and those cheap saunas that come from China. And they decided to buy it, and I just saw her yesterday in Cincinnati at another show, and she says, oh my gosh, we love the sauna, and she went on and on and on describing so many things that it has done for both her and her husband. You know, he was working out in the yard and was all sore, and then he got into the sauna and all gone, and they sleep better. And I mean, I wish I could, say a couple more things, but she said, I did get it on tape, and I'll on video. I'll send you a copy of that.
Oh, nice.
But people come back to me so grateful and so thankful that they have a Relax sauna in their home. It's like having a key to a secret world within your own home. And I like to say that the Relax sauna will transform your house into a home, because a home is where there's a hearth.
Yeah, it will. It will. It's I encourage people to make an investment in their own health and in their own life, really. And, it starts with the food you eat, but then also what's great about these types of tools that we can add into our lives is that they're one-time payments, right? So when we go to the health food store, we got to continually buy food. But when you buy like a rebounder that we have, the Bellicon, we love that thing, or a sauna, or any of these health sort of tools, you pay for it once and you can use it for years and years and years. It's awesome.
And the Relax sauna should last 10, 20, 40 years. People are asking me, how long will the radiators last? I said, we don't know. I've only had mine for 13 years. There's never been a problem. We think they'll last 20, 30, 40 years, maybe longer.
Wow. Hasn't it been running for 5 years straight?
Well, it went up to 9 years before they had a power failure.
Oh.
24/7. It was running 24/7 for 9 years, and then they had a power failure. Said, all right, we won't continue with it.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, it still worked, but, it didn't get destroyed by the power failure. But 9 years it ran, yeah.
Gosh, that's a raise. I should do the math on that, because if you were to use it every day for a half hour, I wonder how much 9 years would represent. Probably 40 years.
Your math's not very good. At least 48 times 9 years.
How do you mean? Like it would be 48?
Well, there's a half an hour. There's 48 half hours in a day.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Gosh, it would just be, my gosh.
Around 440 years.
Oh my gosh. That's more than you need, right?
Yeah, I think so. It'll outlast me probably.
Well, awesome. Thanks, Phil, for being on the show. We're going to talk about, when we wrap up the show, we're going to be talking about the specials at the end. But, yeah, thanks for being the distributor for this sauna, and thanks for, working with us, and we just appreciate you.
I thank you for doing so much to promote the wonderfulness of the Relax sauna and how it can improve the quality of people's lives. That's what we want. We want the quality of life, to improve for everyone.
Yeah.
And, of course, by detoxifying and cleansing the body, it can work optimally. And not just the body, the mind as well. It gets the mental gunk out. I call it dross. It gets the dross out.
Yeah, it's incredible. Let me close out the live show here, Phil. And actually, it's not live, pre-recorded, but let me just close out the show, and we'll stay on the line there for just a moment. I want to thank everyone for joining us. This was episode, let me make sure I get this correct. If you guys want to listen to this show on our website, it is, let's get this correct, extremehealthradio.com/482. And we're going to be doing a wrap-up right after this, and we'll tell you about the deal that we have going on and all that good stuff. So thanks for listening, and thanks for being a part of everything we do. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all your support over the years. It allows us to continue to do this work. If you know anybody who might benefit from a sauna, pass the show on to them. Share it with your friends on Facebook and let them know about this incredible healing tool that is the FAR Relax Infrared Sauna. So thank you guys all. We love you, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Okay, episode 482 with Mr. Phil Wilson. Hope you guys enjoyed that show. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the sauna. Obviously, as you can tell, it's just I get this question a lot. What's your most favorite health tool that you have? And it's by far the sauna. It's absolutely awesome. I can't recommend it enough. I recommend it to my friends, to my family. Like I said during the show, we're trying to get my mom to get one. And these things are just great. And I think there's no better way to improve your immune system so dramatically and drastically and quickly than getting in that sauna and increasing your heat shock proteins and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's one of those things where whether you get a sauna or whether you do other things in your life, we all have to live a lifestyle that allows for toxins to move out, right? You cannot continue to live in this toxic life. Like we're saying, I think I said this during the show, I think we're exposed to 700,000 toxic chemicals on a daily basis. I think I read that stat from, I forget which website on one of our most recent shows, but then also I read that there are 70,000 toxic chemicals in commercial use, which to me is kind of irrelevant, right? You don't really, anything over 10, think about it. Even if it's just mercury and it's 1. Doctor, what was his name? The doctor, the dentist, the famous dentist, Dr. Hal Huggins. He was saying that exposure to 1 atom of mercury was too much. So, can you imagine? I don't know if that's true, but he was pretty full on with this stuff. But so there's no way of getting around toxic chemicals. It's in the tire dust, and around freeways and airports. The air in our homes is now more toxic than the outside air. We're breathing in benzene from plastic products, and benzene is a known carcinogen. We're getting formaldehyde in all kinds of products that we consume or use on a regular basis. There's just no way to get away from it. And, if you did, you'd have to live in the middle of a forest, in the middle of some area that's not exposed to air flights. And, it's just impossible. So that's why we like to do these things every single day that help move these toxins out. And I'm a big fan of the sauna. And I want to let you guys know, too, that during this promotion right now, as of today, let me get the date for you. August 20th. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not August 21st. Who am I kidding? November 21st, 2016. There is a Black Friday deal going on, and it's going to be $150 off. And with good news comes bad news. The sauna itself is going to be, the price is increasing, unfortunately, by $100 starting in about a month from now, January 1st, 2017. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. It's just something that's going to happen, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. But if you are listening, around the time that this is happening, even if you missed the Black Friday deal and the Cyber Monday deal, you can still get it for less than, or at least $100 off, because it's going to be increasing by $100. So if you're able to grab the Black Friday deal, we're going to run that all the way through Cyber Monday as well, or maybe even till November 30th. We'll see how many. Last year we sold so many that we had to cut the sale off early. So, but in any event, you would be getting it if you purchase it with the Black Friday deal, and before January 1st, 2017, it's basically going to be $250 cheaper. The Black Friday deal will be $150 off. So, I hope you guys can get access to that and get your hands on one of these saunas, because I really recommend them to everybody. I think every home in America should have something like this. I'm a big fan of them. I've been in the other ones, and some of them are fancy. Some of them have these lights that turn on, and audio. You can put your CD or your MP3 player in there. But to be honest, I just like to watch documentaries. I don't like my head being heated up. To be honest, I just don't like that. I feel weird, and it's really kind of I don't know, it's not my thing. So I like the sauna where your head pops out of the top of it, and so that way you can turn on your AC or put a fan on you, and you can still sweat, but your head's not getting fried. And it's an amazing machine. It's an amazing, amazing machine. I hope you guys are able to get a hold of one of these. If you do live, let me think about this. If you do live outside of the United States, the continental United States, that is, if you live in Alaska or Hawaii or anywhere else around the world, email me for shipping costs, because it costs extra to ship to Alaska, Hawaii, or any other country. So let me know, send me an email. And also, if you do purchase one, we had so many people purchase them recently where they weren't entering in their phone number. And unfortunately, we do need that for shipping purposes in case the UPS or the FedEx man arrives and doesn't have the ability to notify you via text message or something like that they're there. So make sure to enter your phone number in when you make the purchase on our website so we can make sure and get that to you right away. A lot of times we have to email back, and sometimes you don't respond for a couple days, and then it shortens up or it lengthens the shipping process. So we want to make sure to get these things to you right away. So I hope you guys enjoyed that show. That was an awesome show. So much great information about the sauna, and it's one of those things too where yes, we have a financial interest in the sauna, but I can't help it because I just love the thing so much. And it's I really stand behind this thing, and I really like it. And I really stand behind their work, the work that Phil does. And like I said, I've used it for 4 years, almost probably 5 to 6 days a week on average, probably more than that. And I love it. I love it. And I would recommend it to every single person listening. If you're able to grab one, it's just one of the best investments you can make, in my opinion. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you can't get a sauna, no big deal. You are an amazing person, and you're going to be, your immune system's going to be strong and vibrant. And these are all just tools to help us along to get to where we want to go, and to meet our health goals faster. But ultimately, none of us need any of these things. They help, but the body is the instrument that does the healing through God. So, that's ultimately where we want to get to. So, and in any event, hope you guys like that show. Thanks for your support by buying through our Amazon link. Many of you guys are doing that, and we are so appreciative of that. Thank you so much for buying through our Amazon link. You guys are so nice and so kind. And to think of us, I know it's so hard. Anytime I make a purchase on Amazon, I always go through and figure out which podcasts or which people I want to support. And I change it up a lot. I'll support this person one time, but I always make sure when I go to Amazon that I realize that I can support someone with my purchase. And you guys that support us, you guys are so kind. Thank you so much. And all of your purchases through our store too is just I'm so grateful for that. Your support means the world to us. And, by buying products through our store, we also have a page on our store too. If you haven't seen recently, it's called Shops We Support or Shops We Love. And these are all outfitters online that, are really great, places online like iHerb and Lucky Vitamin and all kinds of really great places where people buy online. And we've had so many requests over the years, that people make regular purchases at these stores and they want to support us, but we weren't connected up with them. So now, if you ever purchase on any of these other sites, you can go through our link first. So, thank you guys for your support in our store. You guys are amazing. We couldn't do this show without your support. In all honesty, we need your support and we crave it, and we thank you so much for it. It's what helps us pay the bills. We pay all of our bills basically through your support and your kind donations and all of that stuff through Patreon. We pay our rent. We buy all of our food. We buy all of our dog food, the One World Way, all of our supplements, the barf dog food we feed our dogs. All that stuff comes out of your kind donations and kind support. So we're just so grateful. We're grateful that we can do this show and help people wake up and realize that their body, you guys have the power to heal. It's within you, and we all have access to it. And helping to waken people up so that they realize that they don't have to take what the medical doctors are telling them as a death sentence. Giving people hope. I mean, what greater thing is there than that, right? To have the knowledge and to have the knowing that you're going to heal. When you have a cut, you don't wonder if your cut's going to heal. You know it's going to heal. And that's what we're offering people. We want to let people know there's choices, there's options, and there's available healing principles and modalities and tools and supplements and all kinds of cool stuff that can help us heal. And so without your support, we wouldn't be able to do this show. And so that's what we want to let people know about. It's just that, we have the ability to heal, and we don't have to take a doctor's diagnosis as a death sentence, no matter what he's diagnosed us with. I believe we can heal and cure anything. You have to believe that. I believe that. I have a friend right now, one of Kate's friends has, I shouldn't say she has it, her body, for the time being is dealing with some rheumatoid arthritis, and she's tried almost everything. Obviously, she hasn't tried everything yet because she's not healed, but I believe deep down, I was just telling Kate the other day, there's a cure and I want her to find it. I know there's a cure. There's a cure for everything. The cure is our own immune system, and we just have to figure out how to tap into that, right? So that's what we're trying to let people know. And when you support us on our store, we can do more of that. And we're just so grateful. So thank you again for your Amazon purchases, for your shopping through our store, for your donations on Patreon. You guys are awesome. And I love you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you enjoyed that show, pass it on to your friends. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you so much. And we love you, and let us know if we can ever help. And we'll catch you guys on the next show.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition.